Hey guys, welcome to the Break Free podcast. I have Micheal joining me today, and we're gonna be talking about break free, but I think we're just gonna kind of let things flow and go as they go, with everything going on in the world right now, and I'm just excited to hear what he has to say and where we're gonna take this. So first, I'm gonna let him tell you a little bit about himself, and then we'll go from there. So, Micheal, why don't you introduce yourself and tell him, all about you.
Okay. Well, my name's Micheal Palser. I'm a Fort Collins-based personal trainer. Been doing this for almost 2 decades, so the majority of my adult life. My background is in athletics, so that's how I got my love for moving and fitness and activity and just the feel of working with people. So it started as a team. I wasn't a coach, I was a player and a teammate, and so there's just something about accomplishing something together that I've always been drawn to. Like, it just always was playing sports, and so when I wasn't playing competitive sports anymore, that's what led me to fitness and bodybuilding and then personal training. Recently, that's a big jump, but so I've been training for almost 2 decades, just every aspect of it. I started in sports performance because that was my forte, and that's what I love to do. So working with group athletes, and then I started working with individuals. My very first clients were a 72-year-old married couple. And so I was 18 years old. I'd only been training for a few months, and they had to look at me like, what are we going to possibly learn from this kid? And they're so patient, and it was probably one of the better learning circumstances for me, because I'm like, okay, now we're going to do box jumps, we're going to do hanging leg raises, and they're like, yeah, no, this is more our speed. And so I learned very quickly that I can't train people the way I train myself all the time. And so it was good. Now it's animal flow. I'm very, very enveloped and obsessed with this form of ground-based movement. So I feel like I lost some agility and drive for weightlifting, and I just needed something new. I found it, was going through a breakup at the time, and just dove into it, and it's really changed my life, the way I move, the way I feel. That's my obsession now. So that's me.
Yeah.
Fort Collins personal trainer, certified animal flow instructor, rambler.
No, that was great. It's hard to tell people, like, all right, just go and tell them. It's like, there's so much to say. We've all lived a life, and so much has happened along the way. And, whatever has brought you to this point in your life, there's some significance behind that, right? How you got there, why you decided to do what you do, your purpose in your life, and what drives you. So I just want to say about Micheal is that he creates such an amazing following. Like, you should see the people that are in his tribe. Like, it is so cool to see that kind of got like this ride or die tribe, and it's all different types of people, and I absolutely love that. I love that, really anybody is welcome, and you get that feel from you of like, truly it doesn't matter where you've come from, how much you weigh, what your beliefs are. Like, let's just all come together. And I connect to that so much. I absolutely love that about you. He has been a huge supporter of the fitness festival, and I am incredibly grateful for that. I remember, I believe it was the first time I met you. It was at one of the fitness festival events, and you came up to me and introduced yourself at New Belgium.
I was holding back too, because I was like, hey, I'm Micheal. I want to be in this. So
Yeah.
I remember that very specifically because that was such a cool thing that was new to Fort Collins. It was new to the area. It was something that's obviously needed.
Yeah.
And I have always wanted to be a part of it. And it's fun to see how we've just come together a little bit more, you know? So I thank you for that.
Well,
You're doing amazing things, Rachel.
I am so grateful that we have come together and that I know that it's just, something is, blossoming and I'm excited to see where this all goes. But I know that we, connect a lot in just how we feel about things, beliefs. And I just love, oh, no. Sorry. Just keep going. Josh, edit that out. All right, he will. Okay. So yeah, I love that we connect in these different ways. So I'm excited right now to ask you. Oh, wait. I just wanted to tell you something funny. Okay, so I was hearing you talk and I was like, oh my gosh, that's too funny. You said that your first clients were in their 70s, a couple.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So my first client, he was in his 80s and he was paralyzed from the waist down, and literally the same experience. Like, it was such a great learning experience of like meeting people where they're at and not, maybe not what I necessarily thought would be my clientele or maybe the people I'd be working with or what I pictured as my fitness personal trainer journey, right? Yeah. But it actually made me fall in love with meeting anybody and where they're at and like helping them from like it didn't matter like if it was an 80-year-old or if it was an athlete or and just finding the beauty in fitness in general. So
you nailed it.
Yeah.
You nailed it.
So yeah.
Personal training isn't really like, it can be, but it's not glamorous.
Yeah.
It's a grind, and it's like people think like, have you ever seen those memes where they're like, what my mom thinks I do, what society thinks I do, what I really do? So there's a lot of what I really do. Like society thinks that I'm training hot chicks and I'm living this personal training rock star dream. My mom thinks one thing, but in reality, it's like you said. Yeah,
it is.
Folks from all over the place.
That was a perfect example. Perfect. Okay, sorry, I just had to tell you that. All right, so what does break free mean to you?
So many things. It's funny because I was wondering when that podcast we did a few months back was going to come out, and I was thinking back onto that because it got lost in the ether somehow. Yeah. I was thinking of how I answered that then, and even though I'm the same human, my answer is going to be so different right now, just from everything and where we're at. So for me, break free is always maybe just being present. If I can be present with, like right now I'm breaking free because I'm present with you. Mm-hmm. Like I'm looking at a screen, but I'm still looking at you in the eye and I'm very present. So being present is breaking free. That's my definition right now, because I'm striving for that, because I'm weak at that. I'm either thinking about something that I need to do or something that I should have done. And sometimes I'm not present with my clients. I'm not present with my family. I'm not present even in my own workouts. I'm just thinking. And so for me, breaking free is being present. Yeah.
I was going to ask you that. I was going to ask you like, wow, where did this come from? Because we all come to something for some reason, like some belief that we have about ourselves and something that we need, that we want differently, right? Mm-hmm. A desire that we want in our lives and then, acting upon that. So I love that. And I actually have not talked to anybody about that really, about being present, which is very interesting because I think that for me and a lot of other people, that's something that we can totally relate to, especially this day and age, because there are so many distractions constantly happening, right? And things that pull us out of that present moment. And so I love that. Okay, so how does being present bring you joy in your life?
That's my true moment of being happy. Because if you're not thinking about what could have been or what needs to be done, that's a total removal of worry and stress and fear. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and so this is going to get a little sexual here.
Okay.
So there's a book called The 50th Law. I spoke to you about that.
Uh-huh.
It's 50 Cent's kind of autobiography with Robert Greene, and in the end of the book, it goes into, if you remove your fear of death, you're truly free. Because it's like, that's huge. I don't know if I've ever met one person that could truly say they're not afraid of death and really truly mean it to their core. And so he talks about, even in ancient Japanese culture, that like an orgasm is a little death. Like,
okay.
When are you really more present than that moment?
Yeah.
You know, whether it be a sexual moment, whether it be heightened exercise. So that's why that's so important to me, because it's just we want, or we wish, rather than just being here.
Right.
You know?
Right. Wow, that is going to make me think. And I love that. Because and you're right, 100% in being, I think you said being present removes fear and anxiety. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because fear is us living too far in the future, right? It's us projecting upon what we think is going to be. So, and same with anxiety, right? We're creating a story that is creating anxiety. And it's not in the present. If we all lived in the present, we'd all just be happy because everything is fine right here, right in this moment, right? So how do you connect more into being present? Like how could somebody who's like right now being like, oh my gosh, I totally need to be more present. Like that's something that I've said that I need to work more on for so long. How can they start to do that in their life? What are you doing?
It's always exercise with me. Like if I don't get some sort of exercise in, I feel off. So there's one. Not only is that a mental tool, but we need it for our health. I suck at meditation, but it's a necessity, and I feel good when I attempt it. And so what I do is active meditation. When I can't meditate, I can't put my blinders on, my tunnel vision. I do yoga. So it's like an active meditation with music and movement. And another form, if I can't even do that, it's just stating what you're grateful for. You know, because there's thousands of things. Even if they're so minute, you state what you're grateful for, you're going to change the chemistry in your brain into being grateful rather than resentful or angry or fearful, you know? So that could be journaling. That could just be listening to you, being present. We all just want to tell our story rather than just listen, you know? And I need to be a better listener, and that's being present. So even though I might be so into what you're saying, in my head I'm like thinking about something else. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure you felt yourself doing that with a client. You're listening to them, you want to hear what they have to say, but you're thinking about something else, and that's not being present.
Right.
So listening, being grateful, exercise, and I would say being uplifting, like giving someone a compliment.
Mm-hmm.
That always makes me feel good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whether they take it as I'm giving it, the truthfulness behind it or not, that always makes me feel good when I give someone a compliment, because 99.999% of the time I absolutely mean it.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. So I think that's the interesting point that you make, where you said, when somebody's talking and then you have a different thought, and kind of pull away from that present moment. And I feel like that's such, obviously that's a very human thing to do, because we're constantly always thinking about something, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like, I wonder, and I don't wonder, I know anything's a practice and a habit. So the more and more and more that you do it, the better you become at it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I'm trying to find what is a practice that, I could have in my life to really start building that present muscle, because everything's a muscle that we're building, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I everything that you said was like perfect. I think one thing that you said that I like stood out to me a lot was the listening. Because I think more if we get into that mode of truly being present with somebody, looking at them, and like having that that present moment with them, right? And being right there with them, is a really good time to practice that. Also in meditation, I find myself, we always have those fleeting thoughts in meditation. I think that's something that makes people feel like they're not good at it. But I feel like that's a great time to build that muscle and pulling yourself back to that present moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So one thing that came in this book that I was reading that really struck a chord with me was complaint fasting.
Tell me about it.
You know what fasting is, obviously. You're just refraining from one thing or another. So complaint fasting is you pick a week and you can't complain about one thing. If you complain, your week starts over. Even if it's like the weather, even, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, I just read it today and I was like, that's so cool. I want to share that with Rachel. And it's funny, like, what's one thing we can do? Like, one thing you feel like you can be better at? Fast. It doesn't have to be food. Like, if it's gossip, fast from gossip.
Yeah.
As soon as a close friend of yours starts talking trash or negatively, or you feel that energy swell, remove yourself from that. Be like, change the subject or whatever. Like, just refrain from whatever it is that you feel you could be better at,
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Man, I think that we should make that a new challenge, because have you ever...
Complaint fasting? Yeah.
Yeah.
Who wants to be around a complainer?
I love it because there's this thing out there called 75 hard, and in the 75 hard, I won't go into like everything that it's about, but the thing is that once you fall off of it, you have to start over. So even if you're like 30 days in and you fall off, you're back to day one.
I think I've heard of that challenge.
Yeah, it's a lot through social media. A lot of people take it. But I love this thought of fasting from something outside of food. I hadn't really thought of anything in that way. And I love the idea of fasting from complaining and like being on this thing of like, okay, you have to do this. And then it's kind of like building that muscle, like not doing it. If you fall off of it, well, you got to go back to building it again. Right? Mm-hmm. All right, Michael, I think we need to put this out there.
I'm in. Let's make a post with it, and we can see how it swells and see what people feel like they need to refrain from.
Yeah,
it probably will surprise the shit out of us.
Absolutely. So fasting from something outside of food. So fasting. I flipping love this. This is the new quarantine game.
It's all self-discipline.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
It is.
We're by ourselves, like so much now. We have to be. It's like all these cliches that are cliches just are more just they're just truths now.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter what you do when people are watching. It matters what you do when they aren't.
Right.
So like I'm in my kitchen right now doing a 2,000 meter row. I could coast, but that's not self-discipline. That's not really owning the moment.
Yeah. True. What you do when no one is watching. That's freaking powerful.
We get so much energy from the gym when people are around, whether it be an attractive person that walks in and you're like, oh, gotta look cool, whatever, or just people.
Yeah.
When it's hard for me to train hard by myself, and so this week has been very revealing and very rewarding.
Yeah.
It's good.
Well, the fact that you have a rower in your kitchen, that's incredible.
I'm like, I'm taking this home.
I'll take this.
Yeah, you should stay tuned over the next few weeks. I have a whole gym set up at my house, so I'm going to be doing some very interesting things.
All right. I'm excited. Yeah. I can't wait to see. All right. So
what else do we have on the agenda? I don't want to just keep distracting you.
Oh, no. You're fine. I'm going to ask you a couple questions and then we're going to be done. Okay. So what is your favorite quote?
Whew. Man, I had a good one last time. And I completely just went blank right now.
Okay. We can come back to that. What's your favorite? Okay.
One of my favorite ones is Michelangelo. It's more of an artistic quote, and it's I saw an angel in the marble and I carved until I set him free.
Oh, that's beautiful. I've never heard that.
And so that's what I love about fitness. That's what I love about self-discipline and expression is that you don't create something. You don't just make it appear. It's always there. You just chip away the pieces or you burn the body fat to reveal what's already there.
Right.
And it's another quote is by David Goggins. He's like, I'm not a superhuman. I'm just like you. I just tapped into a different percentage of my mentality.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's all there. Like all these people that are doing great things, they're just like us, but they've administered something greater than the people that aren't doing that yet.
Right. 100%. And I believe that to be beliefs. But I love the marble. I've never heard that. That's beautiful. Okay.
Isn't it?
Oh, I love it.
As a personal trainer, like you just look at your client and you're like, you're there.
Yeah.
Just keep chipping away.
Yeah.
Just keep chipping away.
It's so true. All right. Your favorite book?
Favorite book is probably The 50th Law.
Okay.
The 50th Law or The Way of the Superior Man. And then some fiction, I would have to say Fight Club.
Fight Club.
Fight Club.
Fight Club.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it.
2 personal development books, 2 nonfiction, and then Fight Club is one of my favorites.
Okay. All right. What is something that you are up to that you're really excited about?
Animal flow. I got certified last summer, and I just did another re-immersion in the same course just to get more refined at it. And I really feel like this is the path that I'm going to take to be able to do what I want to do, which is travel the world and teach fitness and be able to make money. So I'm really putting all my energies into that. I have one more level of certification to do on that, and it's helped me so much in so many ways, and I can administer it to all my clients. I can do group training with it. It's just really re-inspired me as a coach, and so Animal Flow is a big focus of mine, and being more involved with the fitness festival.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so tell everybody how they can find you.
Social media, obviously, Micheal J. Palser. I have Instagram, Facebook. Website is up, but it's not very functional at the moment, and that's e3eliteathletics.com. That's my business name. So if you see E3 at all, that's kind of my tribe, my family there. So, and Animal Flow. I'm on animalflow.com. They have it on demand. So it's actually really cool. You can pay per class, you can pay per month. You actually learn the craft of Animal Flow if you can't work with me one-on-one, which is very useful. And so I did some filming with Mike Fitch, the creator of Animal Flow, for that. And so it's a very big thing. That's worldwide. You know, there's people all over the world flowing together that can't even speak the same language. So this thing that he's created is in any language you can go and you can flow with the verbiage and the vernacular that he's created. So it's Animal Flow, and it's E3 Elite Athletics. That's where you can find me.
So I'm pretty sure you guys are going to see Micheal traveling the world as a master Animal Flow instructor, teaching everybody around the world how to do what he loves. And I could see that happening, Micheal.
I hope so. And then, I mean, what's the other thing? What am I going to doubt or say it's not going to happen? We have to truly believe in it. If we want that, you have to act like it's already happened.
Right. That's right.
You know?
That's right. I think that's a really good way to end this podcast. So thank you, Micheal, so much for joining me. And it's been fun chatting. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Break Free podcast by Fitness Festival Events. You can find our website at fitnessfestivalevents.com, where you can learn more about the events we have coming up, our Break Free community, and much more. For Instagram and Facebook, find us at Fitness Festival Events, or for our community, Break Free Community. For Rachel, you can find her on Instagram at rachel.pastor. And email rachel@fitnessfestivalevents.com.